We are live! Live from Miami! Actually, Coral Gables. I am on location today at the apartment of Aron Oscar. Hello, Alberto. Hello, Nika.
Hi. It's my cousin. Hola, Angelica.
Oh, I thought that was Alberto's sister-in-law, Angelica.
Oh, Angelica
Dear Life Helen
is my cousin.
Thank you for joining us today. We are gonna shotgun an IPA, a hazy IPA, by Beat Culture. So I am actually, I'm getting in the mood. Drinking Beer Culture Streamline, which was our shotgun last week. Last week we had, I'm forgetting her name. Oh, Tati. Rachel. This week, it's going to be Big World Small Girl, Caitlin. So she's going to be joining us pretty soon from Austin, Texas. One of my favorite cities in the US of A, aside from Miami. Miami's number one. Love Austin. I lived in Dallas for about 3.5 years. And I went down to Austin very frequently. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. This is currently beer number 3 or 4. I spent my birthday at a car dealership today. Turned in my old car because the lease was up, and I got a new one. Exactly the same car, just 2 years younger. So, cheers to me. Let us know what you're drinking, guys. I'm curious. And happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend shotgun with Beer.Tales. And our beer sponsor, Beat Culture. And soon we'll be joined by Big World, Small Girl. I always want to say Big Girl, Small World. She's not a big girl. She's a very small girl. I don't know her height. But we'll ask her height. If you guys have anything that you want me to ask her, please put it in the comments. Costanita. Still waiting on our shipment of Costanita. Myra, Jamie, what up, buddy? We're actually gonna be drinking with somebody from Texas today. Caitlin is from Austin. What's her favorite wine? Whose wine?
They just say wine is better.
Wine is better. I fuck with a little wine. I like a little Pinot Grigio if it's white. And I like cool story, bro. Yes, I know. Like white wine. I like Pinot Grigio. And I like red wine, a little Cabernet, as they say in Miami. What's up, Jamie? Shimo joined. Shimo, hello. Pinot Grigio. So I do know that Caitlin said she was going to be a little later. So hopefully I'll be able to entertain you guys. Can you shout us out on your story? Sure, Wine UK. We definitely will. So like I said, our beer sponsor is, wait for it, Beat Culture. Myra, thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. So this is Streamline Lager. It's in my Focal glass. Important point to make. I will not party too hard tonight because tomorrow morning at 8:30 p.m. sharp, the boys from Beer.Tales, myself, Alberto, and Oscar, we will be brewing beer with Focal Brewing Company. What up, Nate Dog? Thank you for the old pitbull. Thank you for the birthday wishes. So yeah, tomorrow morning 8:30 we'll be at Focal with Carlos. We will be brewing our session IPA, our tangerine-based session IPA. Thank you for your votes on our story. Clementine versus tangerine. We went with tangerine. The name of the beer is still up for debate. We could do a contest. Oh, here is Caitlin. World small girl.
Hello.
Caitlin, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I love the fence behind you. You have a nice backdrop.
I like to pretend I'm, somewhere tropical, but
Well, I mean, I
can't
have
beat
some
that.
tropical stuff. Yeah, for once we have a night where it's not going to rain, where there's no threat of rain. So we are in the midst of hurricane
Hannah.
season.
We got
Gonzalo.
Hannah. Oh, you're in Gonzalo. Okay, we've got Hannah.
Gonzalo.
Hannah's coming up this weekend, so.
As if we don't have enough things going on with COVID-19 and all
I think
that crap.
by now we should be able to handle hurricanes, right?
Yeah, exactly. So now you are in
Austin.
Austin. I love Austin.
It's a fun place.
I lived in Dallas for about 3.5 years.
Okay.
Austin, I love it. I love it. You used to go to South by Southwest and ACL. I got a buddy that actually works for Qualcomm down there.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen him in a while. But I love it down there. I say it's my second favorite city in the U.S. behind Miami. And if I was to move, that would probably be the first place I'd go.
Well, I was just in Miami in January. It was for my 30th birthday, and it was a girls' trip. So me and like 4 of my best friends, we all went. And what was weird is like I think it was like the last big trip any of us all have done. In 2020, we had no idea,
Where did you go in Miami? Did you stay on the beach?
No, we stayed in Little Havana.
Okay, cool.
We stayed in a really cute little house, like Spanish-style house, right off of Calle Ocho.
Okay.
And so we did go to South Beach like a little bit, but
Sure.
we went to there's a really fancy like hotel like off of Biscayne Bay or like in one of those little islands.
Okay.
And we went to dinner there, and we had
the Mandarin or Oriental.
Yes.
Yep.
And so we had dinner there with like the most perfect like nighttime skyline view of Miami.
So that's one of my runs. I live in Brickell, and that's on Brickell Key. So I usually do that loop around the island. You were probably at La Mab. Is that the name of the restaurant?
Oh yes.
La Mab.
Yeah, it was like a Peruvian like kind of seafood based dinner. And we got a whole bunch of dishes. They brought out a nice little chocolate cake for my birthday. It was a really
cool.
It was a really great night. And then after that, we went to a bar downtown. I think it was called Sugar Rush or Sugar, and they've got like they've got a rooftop bar. It was
that's the name of the hotel is the East.
Okay.
And it has an Asian type like feel to it, but it overlooks the bay, and you can see South Beach, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
It was gorgeous, and I'd say too, like, I live in Austin, but I feel like part of me, if I wasn't living in Austin, I would love to live in Miami. If I'm not like Texas, kind of desert cowboy feeling, I love tropical. Clearly.
Sure. Did you when you were in Miami, did you get a chance to go to Wynwood and visit any breweries or any other breweries?
So we spent a whole day in Wynwood. We started out, I think it was called Kush, brunch at Kush.
Yeah, Kush is awesome.
A much needed brunch. So like soak up all the alcohol from last night.
Yep.
And then we
Burgers.
they're so good. And we went out and the weather was great. We sat outside. It was like mid-January. It was mid-70s, lower 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfect. And then so we just walked around to a whole bunch of different other breweries. We went to the Wynwood Walls, of course. And I love how the breweries are all in. I think it's a great walkable neighborhood. You hear about walkable neighborhoods, but like walking between breweries in Wynwood is entertainment in itself.
So a funny story and kind of a plug for Beer.Tales. We're three guys that live in Miami. Prior to the start of COVID, we had set up a Airbnb experience where we were going to do a walking brewery tour in Wynwood. And when I say literally, like, the day before, like, the shutdown, we went live, and we were like, shit, this sucks. So
it's funny how like so much changed overnight, like back in mid-March, you know.
Ridiculous. But Wynwood is great in terms of walkability, restaurants, bars. So Wynwood Brewing Company is there, Jay Wakefield's there, Vezasur is there. Shout out Carl, who works at Vezasur.
That was one of our favorites. Like between the whole group, like we really loved their tap room, and they were. I mean, all those tap rooms were like bumping, but Vezasur had such a good energy for it, and I think their beers.
Concrete Beach as well. Sorry.
Yes, and then there were a few. So before I left, I had like the latest flight out to make sure that all my girlfriends, you know, got to the airport on time. But there's a few breweries around the Miami airport, kind of. And so
actually, what we're going to be drinking tonight, Beat Culture. This isn't the beer we're going to be drinking, but it's by the brewer.
I think I went to that one. There was a few, but I saved all the breweries and like looked them up, and I can't remember which one. I'd have to like go on my Google Maps and figure it out. But
there's it's crazy. Like they've been popping up everywhere here. We've got Tripping Animals, which is huge right now. Beat, Lincoln's Beard, Strange Beast.
Have you had any that have opened during like this like COVID period?
So a lot of these guys they're putting tents outside because a lot of them don't have outdoor seating. So what they're doing is our lovely local government can't make up their mind as to what they want to do.
There's like there if you need it.
And they're picking and choosing what laws they're going to enforce for who. So
are you talking about Texas or Florida? It sounds exactly the same.
I'm sure it's the same. All my buddies in Dallas are saying the same thing. It's like the same shit, just a different state, right?
Yeah.
But so what they're trying to do is find these workarounds. But what we've been doing, Beer.Tales specifically, if we can't go to the brewery and hang out, we place our online beer orders, and then we go and pick up. And I mean, I've drank probably 85% of the beer I've drank since February has been from Miami because, number one, it's good.
Yeah.
And number two, I mean, we have to support our local folks. We can't go to the beer festivals. We can't go drink with them at their bar. So the next best thing is to buy their beer.
And I'm sad too. You say that like at beer festivals and stuff, and like I'm sad because I feel like we've missed. I don't know. In Austin this time of year, we have a lot of brewery anniversary parties, and we've missed so many of those. And the brewery events, I think that's something that we haven't, like a lot of people haven't talked about. Just like doing brewery yoga or like, you know, trivia night or just all those events just stopped. And yeah, so like I was curious though, like it's summer down there in Miami. We've got similar like, you know, weather right now, 90s, 100s.
Yep.
What are the styles that are like the breweries are doing right now?
So we're really into, we've partnered with a brewery here called Focal Beer Cafe, and they make a beer called Miami Blonde, and it is the perfect beer for summer. It's about 5%. It's light. It's the type of beer that you want to drink by the pool or by the beach. We
love those here in Texas.
We've been doing a little more with the sours. I'm a pale ale guy. I love a good, crisp, clean pale ale. I love IPAs, but pale ales are my jam. Like, I could drink a pale ale all day, every single day.
They're good. They're good beers. I tend to lean towards like the lagers more often, like Helles.
Yep.
But yeah, and then even like American IPA, I think. Is a great style to have if you want something hoppy. But we have a lot of sours, I feel like, in Texas, or especially in Central Texas. Like we have Jester King doing like funky farmhouse sours. But then we also have Live Oak, who do kind of the German sours like Berliner Weisses, and
Yep.
we have a lot of people doing Berliner Weisses and fruited Berliner Weisses. But then we have Blue Owl, who their sour mash brewery. Like we have a lot of sours, but I think that's another like kind of summer beer, you know.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. And a lot of our brewers here in Miami are getting into the sours. Jay Wakefield is very very much known for their sours, and Tripping Animals. They're just killing it with their sours now. So we're definitely we had kind of we were averse to the sours at first, but now we're starting to get into them. Oh, Brat joined. Hello, Beer Brat. So to kind of switch gears a little bit, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you have a podcast. I know you're doing something with Jägermeister. At least I saw it a couple times. So why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do? And I know you're not originally from Texas. You're from West Virginia.
I'm from Virginia. Just regular Virginia.
Oh, okay. All right. So West Virginia. No, that's like, that's
no
like New York, New Jersey. I'm not from Jersey. I'm from New York. Yeah. I'm from Virginia. I'm not from West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure. But weirdly enough, it's probably like 2-3 hours away from the West Virginia border. So it's southwestern Virginia, but I was born and raised there. Traveled to Austin when I was in college, fell in love with it. Decided to move down here soon after I graduated, and I moved down here with Big World Small Girl blog, but it was kind of just like a place where I wrote about my travels, and like a lot of my travels after I graduated, I had, student loan debt, and so my travels turned from these kind of fun international trips to like New Orleans and, Austin, to trips to a local brewery that was 3 hours away. And
I gotcha.
So I started writing about that. I moved down to Austin. Austin has a massive blogger scene, like both from the actual bloggers down in here and then brands and PR companies willing to work with bloggers. And it's just a really great city where a lot of stuff's happening. And so I love the energy of, and food was another big one down here in Austin, but I love the energy of the city. So I moved down here about 3-4 years ago. And so once I moved down here, I had a marketing role. And I started taking this blog seriously, and I started networking, meeting other bloggers, starting to get to know the breweries. There are a ton of breweries in town. I went from like a place that only had one brewery like 45 minutes away to a place that had, it was like 20 breweries within, a few mile radius. So I was like, there's so much to write about and do and discover. It's just kind of really taken off from there. And then most recently, though, me and one of my best friends have recently started a podcast, and we always played around with the idea of it. And then during sheltering in place, we kind of started talking more serious about it, and we decided to go for it. And we launched 512 Brewed Craft Beer Podcast on May 1st.
Okay.
So we're on episode 15
512
Brewed. Yeah. So 512 is the area code for Austin. And then 512 Brewed. But 512 is also a special number because I had like this, I don't know, light bulb moment, and I was like, 512, wait a second. Between me and my co-host Melanie, we have 5 dogs. Each episode of the podcast, we would be reviewing one beer style, one brewery, something like that.
Okay.
And then it'd be 2 people. It'd be me and her. Yeah, and I was like, 512 Brewed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I feel like once you get a name, things kind of start to snowball from there,
Sure. Sure.
And it just felt real. And so it's been great, though. We've gotten to do a lot of cool things, and I think it's been really interesting coming into this, where the first 5-7 episodes we recorded over Zoom, and this was someone who was my best friend, and I couldn't even hang out with her and have a beer, and we were doing this over Zoom. So like, and I'm just really excited when things go back to normal, maybe take the show on the road, like go visit breweries and go back to beer festivals. But it's been a really great way to like stay connected with the beer community, even beyond Austin during this time.
That's great. We haven't yet, but we'll check it out. We'll definitely check out your podcast. Yeah. I am glued to my computer for work. I joked with my boss the other day. Like, I'm in my room probably 20 hours a day. between
No.
sleep and work. So I need shit that's going to entertain me while I'm beep, 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 beep. So
Good. This is because
512 Brews is going to be my go-to.
we call it like a beer and entertainment show.
Okay.
So like each episode we take, like this most recent episode that came out today, we had a beer. It was a strawberry lemonade Berliner Weiss from Pine House Pizza. And so we
Okay.
would take the beer, we review it, we tell a little bit about the brewery, and then we kind of go, like the topic of the show was fruit beers. So we went to the history of fruit beers. We kind of played a fun game where Melanie, my co-host, she gave me different like fruits, and she was like, guess which styles, are the most recommended to brew with, that. And then we also too like to give a few beer news stories. Like we call it like a beer review and entertainment show. Like you're gonna laugh, you're gonna learn, like you're gonna find out about like new fun beer. And it is for people who are outside of Austin and Texas too. Like we review beers from everywhere. We're working on a like beer through Europe series that will start being released on International Beer Day, which is coming up soon.
It is coming up soon. While it's fresh in my mind, one of our partners, Alberto, the Viking. I don't know if you've seen our post with the Viking.
I've not yet.
So my two partners are Alberto and Oscar, and they're both from Colombia. And Alberto thinks that you look like a young Shakira.
I will definitely take that.
And that's I mean, maybe we'll see you in the Super Bowl halftime show soon.
I love that. And it's funny that you say that because actually my co-host Melanie, she's from Bogota, her family's from Bogota, Colombia,
No,
and she lived there for quite some time, like early in her childhood. So.
Okay. Have you ever had any beers from Colombia?
She brought me back some, like about a year ago, like really early, or like a long time ago. I can't remember which ones, but yeah, I want to go to
Their craft
Colombia.
beer scene is starting to kick it up a notch. Like they're making some good. I tell you what, beautiful place. Whether you go to Bogota or Medellin or Cartagena, very very pretty. The food's great. The beer is really good. They party their ass off too. They love to dance and they're so nice.
Yeah.
They love gringos too. So you'll be welcome. You'll be welcome. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Jägermeister.
Yes, they recently reached out to me, and they are running a campaign. It's called Beer. And I know we all know Jägermeister from like college and like what would they call Red Bull and Jaegers?
I've had some bad nights with Red Bull and Jaeger, both together and separately.
Yes. I've been with friends who've had bad nights with Jaeger. But no, I don't know, they sent me this campaign, and we're talking about it, and like Jaeger is actually like a really complex spirit. It's like 56 herbs and spices, way more than KFC, by the way, if anybody's keeping count. So they were like, they're coming out with kind of pairing Jaeger with beer, and like, do like enjoying some beer and then doing a shot of Jaeger. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Jaeger is such a strong flavor.
Yeah.
And they were like, they gave me like a little table chart of different styles and notes, and I kind of explored it.
Wow.
I picked a few from that, and then I picked like a wild card. My wild card was like a cherry creek, which is just like a super sweet, like kind of beer with a lot of fruit flavor. And that one was actually really delicious with the Jaeger, but it was quite strong.
Really?
My favorite was a Shiner Bock with Jaeger.
You know what? Shiner. So Shiner and what's the other beer in Texas? Lone Star.
Lone Star.
I remember going to the stockyards in Fort Worth, and Fort Worth is cool because you can just walk around with a can of beer and they don't give a shit. But Shiner is a great beer. Kind of tastes a lot like a Yingling.
It does. It's like
right.
And it's like really malty. I mean, it's still kind of like a cheap macro beer, but like it's a gorgeous amber color.
Yep.
And also too, like Lone Star came out this summer with it's like a Mexican amber lager, but I think it's kind of their competitive product for Shiner, but it is absolutely delicious.
what are the breweries in your town that you're really into right now?
I've been going a lot to St. Elmo Brewing
Okay.
Company. They are a relatively new brewery. They were started by two guys who came from Austin Beer Works, which is a
Okay.
very popular brewery in town.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and so they're a great brewery. They put out new beer every Friday. They have I think one of the best food trucks in town, like parked at their brewery. And like in Texas recently, we've been having to flip flop back and forth between brewery tap
Yeah.
rooms being open, them
Yeah.
closing.
Closed.
Like
Yeah.
they opened them just this week. They opened them, I think, on Sunday or something. I visited on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday they closed them again. And St. Elmo's has been one of those ones who are always open. So I really enjoyed them, but I also enjoy Brewtorium. They are a brew pub, so they've got a delicious food menu, and then a huge there's of like German style beers.
Okay.
And then they also do stuff like, barrel aged beers, IPAs and sours. But their specialty is the German lagers. Just so good. Their Vienna lagers so good. And Pine House Pizza, they're such a classic. I'll never get tired of them.
You mentioned them. They made the sour-ish thing that you talked on.
Yes, and they also
on your podcast.
They make electric jellyfish, which is, I think, maybe one of Austin's like most popular beers.
What a cool name for a beer.
Everything they have is like nautical, and they come out with some of the most gorgeous can designs. It's one of my favorite places. They've got I think it's the best pizza in town. And yeah, they've got 3 locations throughout the Austin area. They're working on a 4th one too. So they're very well loved.
I have to ask you this because there's been a couple drunken nights that I've had on 6th Street. I've gone to Pete's Piano Bar and, just bar hopped around. What I love about 6th is you can go from one end of 6th to the other, right? You can go and it's different genres of everything along the way. There's a jazz bar that's downstairs from a sushi place called the Elephant Room.
Yes. Okay, so like you start with like East or 6th Street, and there's West 6th, there's downtown 6th, and then there's East 6th, and like West 6th is kind of, I don't know, a little bit higher and a little bit. You've got the young professionals who live in downtown Austin. That's where they go out, and then you have downtown 6th, which is, we call it Dirty 6th.
It's seedy.
It's where all the tourists go, but it's like a good place to go every once and again just to kind of go crazy. And then if you keep on going, you get East Austin, which is kind of like the hip, artsy dive bar place. And
like the Wynwood type place, right?
Lots of street art, lots of great little coffee shops, bicycle shops, like little food trucks, and a lot of breweries over there actually too.
So there is a food truck that I adore, and they have, I think it's egg rolls. And I can never remember the name of it. Like an egg roll like this.
Where did you visit them at? Like were they parked at a bar?
It was a little spot like off of 6th, like right down like in that seedy part of 6th.
I know what place you're talking about. I don't know the name, but there is a lot of like little food trucks over like tucked away in 6th Street that just people love them. They got great food, but they're kind of just not household names. But I believe it. There's a Peruvian food truck over there. I think it's called like Lima Criolla or something.
I got to get back to Austin
so
like
good.
ASAP. I owe my buddy a visit too. But what do you think? Why don't we talk about maybe doing a shotgun here?
Yes.
So, I know that you've seen the beer. You looked at it. You probably saw the ABV on it, 7.5%. It's a hazy New England IPA. I'm scared too. Like
okay. I didn't know I was like crazy.
You're not alone. You're not alone. So what we've been doing is kind of like April, May-ish, we were challenged to do shotguns. So we said, why don't we make this a thing? So every Friday at 7 p.m., we've been inviting or challenging another influencer to do a shotgun with us. And what we've gotten great support from our local folks in Miami. So this month, we've had a couple different breweries sponsor us. One of them was Trippin', and then we also know the head brewer at Beat, whose name is Eric Durr. He said, "Hey, I'd love to, love for you guys to shotgun our beer." So last week we did the Amber, and this week we get to do the Hazy IPA.
I mean, I think I could have done an Amber. It's going to be. I'm down for a challenge, but it's going to be quite the challenge with this Hazy. I practiced with a blonde probably maybe like 20 minutes before I jumped on the call.
Oh, so you have shotgun before. You're not a shotgun virgin?
Well, I haven't shotgunned in a while. I'm not like the best at like gulping beer or alcoholic beverages, but I learned a trick. I was like looking up YouTube video. I had a few suggestions from some good friends, but one trick that I learned is that if you start like kind of swallowing before the beer touches your tongue, it's like way easier to gulp.
Okay.
But I came across videos where people were like doing gulping, chugging a whole beer in like 4 seconds or stuff. And
so the other two guys that are part of Beer.Tales, they are better at shotgunning quicker than I am. However, I am very good at getting all of the beer in my mouth as opposed to everywhere else. So
yes.
I got that going for me. One thing I will say, next time you're on YouTube, check out Beer.Tales.
Okay.
Because our main thing is beer reviews on YouTube. We have about 90-something reviews. We've been doing it for about a year and a half.
Nice.
That's our main thing. We kind of use Instagram to kind of drive people there. I don't know. It's morphing into different things. Now we're making beer with brewers, and we're doing all sorts of weird shit. But I'm getting off the topic.
All right, so I'm
I have a tool.
Up, I think. Oh.
I don't know if you.
I have.
So,
okay, so I have
this is a tool. Okay. Hey.
I don't know if that's what they're called. Hold on.
So the important thing, the one thing that I've learned, I've actually gotten pretty good at puncturing the beer. You want to have the beer at like between a 45 to 60 degrees.
Okay.
In order, because this is where the air gets trapped. So you don't want a lot of splash. Okay.
Yes.
So
what I'm going to practice beer, I messed up. I think I had it too, straight.
Yeah, and then it goes. So what I'm going to suggest that we do is that we puncture and get the hole right, and then we count down. We'll go 3, 2, 1, drink. And honestly, you're probably, out of all the guys in Beer.Tales, you are shotgunning against the person you have the best chance of winning against.
Okay.
Because I am slow, but I think that slow and steady wins the race. And I want style points. I don't necessarily need to win the race. I want to look graceful doing it.
All right, I'm just getting so. Get my boyfriend to hold it. Okay, but yes, if I can.
Your boyfriend must think you're nuts.
A little bit. He's listening too. I'm like, keep on sending hearts. Let me fix you a little bit like this. Okay. No, if I can beat you at this, that must mean like it's not saying I'm super good at it. It's just saying that you're really bad.
Well,
I have one of these.
Well, yeah, to put it nicely.
So I have one of these.
Let's see it.
I think they're called.
Oh, okay. It's like a can opener. Okay, yeah, that works.
It's actually a vintage bottle opener from like Pat's Brewery in Wisconsin, so Milwaukee. Represent, love that brewery. All right,
so I have another tool too, but it doesn't work for 16 ounce. This is scary shit right here. Like, this is stuff out of nightmares.
That looks like what you use like if you like drive a car off a bridge and like you have to bust your glass.
Yeah, we're not going to screw around with that
Where's
today.
Beer? Okay.
All right, so let's puncture.
You said hold it like this. Okay.
Yeah, because you'll get less splash.
Looking for the air hole. Maybe.
Whoop. Okay. Not bad. Oh, it smells delicious. You smell that? I don't know if you had a chance to taste it yet.
No, I haven't. I I was saving it in case I messed up the first one.
I got you. Well, we want you to actually enjoy the next beer.
I do
So
appreciate
one will be
that.
for shotgun. Yeah. This is actually a really good beer. I actually had my other one the other night. But this will be, this is going to be. All right, so do you want to count down? We'll go
Yes.
3, 2, 1, drink.
I needed to, had fake nails on and continue to start the little.
I grew my nail. The last time I shotgunned, I trimmed my nails and I failed miserably. So I tried to grow it out a little bit.
Prepping. All right, so I'm counting down.
Yep, you're counting down.
We're going on 1.
We'll go 3, 2, 1, drink.
Okay. 3,
All right.
2, 1, drink.
And I fucked it up already.
She is done, and you just started.
I've still got a little bit left, probably like a third left, so. Dogs are excited for me.
I'm so bad at this.
I'm glad, but thank you for I'm glad I didn't go against a pro. That would have made me feel like a lot worse.
I couldn't get it open.
They say you guys start at the littlest bit before.
I think I gotta grow my nails like long nails.
I've actually gotta say you should. This works flawlessly. Just the cheapest little can opener that you can find, and puncture.
Well, the hole. I think the hole is good. And there's still more in here.
What worried me when I was looking up on YouTube videos were the people who were shooting their thumb through it.
See what happened? There was no airflow.
You were what is that Did you say this dry heaving or I don't know?
Shotgun fail is what it's called.
Well,
I will never
try again,
live this
right?
down.
We do have another can if you want to try again.
I'm good. I always say on our beer reviews. So if we rate a beer above a 6, that means we chug it, and if we rate it below a 6, we dump it into our little. We got a little thing that we dump it into. But when we have to chug the beer, I'm always last because I'm I enjoy the beer. I enjoy the beer. If I rate it a good score, I'm not gonna chug it. But
this was a good beer, though. I'm looking forward to.
It's hazy as hell. It's so nice. Good. It's got a nice, yeah.
Is this a year-round beer for them, or is it a special release?
It is a year-round beer for them.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
I love getting to share. I don't know. Sometimes I feel you take it for granted, the year-round beers of your local breweries, but it's always nice to just send. Austin Beer Works is a good example. They've got their core 4 that are available in every bar and restaurant in town, and I just take it for granted. But I don't know, sending something that delicious to someone is a really nice treat for them. So thank you.
Well, I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. We'll have to come back with my podcast host, Mel.
Absolutely, and we're gonna start to listen to your podcast. I can't wait because it sounds what's interesting to me is beer has become more of a visual thing, right?
Yes.
Between the hazy and the lights, and the descriptors of the beer. So I want to I want to hear how you guys do the podcast with something that's visual and a taste thing, and I want to hear how it's audio.
Yes, and we're really funny. Not to mention that,
okay.
So.
All right, so we're gonna make a deal.
At least 3 people think we're funny. So.
Well, same with us. We'll start listening to your podcast, and you got to start seeing our YouTube videos.
I'm a huge YouTube fan, so you got it.
Cool. Well, Caitlin, it was a pleasure.
Yes.
Good luck during the rest of this pandemic. We hope we can start getting out to see our folks in our breweries and start going to beer festivals again.
Yes, and I hope I can come back to Miami sometime.
Please, and I'll definitely hit you up when I'm in town.
Please do.
All right, take care.
Have a good weekend.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.